My name is Ethan. Princess Lyra had just told me I would not survive 1 minute. Her voice stayed calm, almost bored, like she had said those exact words to 100 people standing in my place before. Above my head, a glowing clock began counting down from 60, the numbers reflected in the curved glass that separated me from a few hundred watching faces. Somewhere on the other side of that crowd, every screen left in human territory was tuned to this exact moment. I had no weapon, no armor, and a hand that did not close all the way anymore. None of that mattered now. The only thing that mattered was the gate across from me. It made a low grinding sound as it began to open. 4 days earlier, I let the Empire capture me on purpose. My rescue unit needed time to get the last group of settlers off Meridian Station before an enemy ship arrived in orbit. One soldier standing still with his hands raised bought far more time than one soldier fighting a battle he could not win. I made that choice fast, the way you make choices when there is no time left to think them over twice. My job had always been about getting people out alive, not about winning straight fights. That kind of training teaches you to search for a way out even when none seems to exist. Whatever happened to me in the next 60 seconds, the settlers were already gone. That part of the plan had worked. If this broadcast convinced enough people that resistance was pointless, far more than one station would surrender without a fight. Now I stood inside a glass pit built for entertainment. Princess Lyra watched me from above the way someone watches a show whose ending she has already decided. The gate finished opening, and the creature came out fast. It moved on 6 legs, low and built for speed, with eyes that locked onto me before its feet even touched the ground. It had not come here to talk. It had been raised for this pit, trained to give the crowd a quick, convincing show every single time. Outside the glass, rows of pale faces leaned forward together, already sure how the next 60 seconds would end. I did not run toward it. I did not run away either. Running was exactly what it wanted from me. Instead, I dropped low behind a thick metal post in the center of the pit. I watched how it moved. Its front leg dragged slightly with every step. Its breathing came fast and uneven. That kind of breathing belongs to something built for a short, loud show, not a long struggle. This animal had been bred to finish things quickly. That gave me exactly one idea worth trying. The clock dropped to 45 seconds, and the floor beneath me shifted without warning. Sections of the pit floor began dropping away with no clear pattern. Opening gaps meant to make the show more exciting for everyone watching. I jumped one gap, then another, landing wrong on my ankle but staying upright. The creature crossed the same broken ground without slowing down at all. It had clearly done this 100 times before. I had done it exactly once, and once was going to have to be enough. The clock dropped to 30. The creature lunged, and I shifted sideways at the last second, letting it crash into the post instead of into me. Loose chains hung along the pit wall, the kind normally used to guide the creature safely between shows. I grabbed one without slowing down. Pain shot through my injured hand the moment I gripped it, but letting go was never really an option I considered. 20 seconds left. I used the chain to swing wide, pulling the creature's attention toward the far wall instead of toward me. It followed without hesitating. It moved the way something moves when it has never once failed to catch what it was chasing. That certainty was exactly what I needed from it. Near the wall stood a second gate, smaller than the first, with thick bars built to close fast and hold something safely in place. I recognized the design immediately. My training had covered containment systems used during difficult rescues back home, and this gate worked on the very same idea. 12 seconds. I ran straight at the gap beneath that smaller gate instead of away from it. The creature followed, certain this was the moment it would finally catch me. At the last possible second, I dropped flat and slid underneath the bars. The creature, moving too fast to stop, followed straight into the narrow space behind me. I hit the release lever with my good hand the instant I cleared the gap. The gate dropped fast and locked into place behind me. It sealed the creature safely inside the narrow space it had been chasing me into the entire time. It was not hurt. It was simply caught, the same way handlers had likely caught and moved it 100 times before. Those handlers understood this mechanism far better than the crowd now watching it fail to catch a human in under a minute. The clock reached 0 and kept counting anyway, climbing into numbers it clearly had never been built to show. I stood there, breathing hard, my hand throbbing, while complete silence settled over the crowd behind the glass. Princess Lyra's calm expression had not caught up with what just happened. She stared at the locked gate, then at the stuttering clock, then at me. For the first time since I had arrived, she did not look bored at all. When she finally spoke, her voice had lost the calm certainty it carried only a minute earlier. "This was not part of the plan," she said quietly, almost to herself. That was when the real alarm started. Not pit alarms, these were deep alarms, the kind that meant something far more serious than entertainment had just gone wrong somewhere else on the ship. Guards near the princess turned toward the doors instead of toward me. That told me everything about what had really been happening during the last 60 seconds. Every screen on that ship had been locked onto this pit the entire time, broadcasting a lesson meant to crush what remained of human resistance in this system. While every guard and officer watched me, my teammate Grace and the rest of my unit were quietly cutting through a maintenance corridor toward the ship's lower deck. They used the 1 minute of total attention I had just bought them. You cannot turn a public spectacle into cover for a rescue mission and act surprised when the rescue mission actually works. I looked up at Princess Lyra through the glass, still breathing hard, and said the only thing worth saying. You told me I would not survive a minute. I was never trying to win that fight. I only needed your full attention for 60 seconds, and you gave it to me without question. She did not answer right away. For the first time since I had been dragged in front of her, she had nothing prepared to say. The ship shook hard a moment later. It was the kind of shake that meant something on the lower deck had just lost to Grace's team. Guards scattered from their positions near the glass, shouting orders I could not understand. None of them paid any attention to the humans still standing in an empty pit. In all that confusion, the same gate that had let the creature in swung open again. Whoever should have been guarding it clearly had bigger problems than me. I did not wait for a second invitation. I walked straight through it, out of the pit, and into the chaos I had helped create. Grace found me 3 corridors later, pulling me through a maintenance hatch before I had even caught my breath. There was no time to explain what had happened in the pit. She did not ask. We had 4 more decks to cross before the extraction shuttle stopped waiting for us. For the first time since Meridian, I believed we were actually going to make it. The footage from that pit was meant to end the resistance in this system before it truly began. Instead, it spread across every channel humans still controlled. It showed one ordinary soldier outlasting a creature built to finish him in under a minute. Princess Lyra had expected an easy lesson in human weakness, broadcast for everyone left to see. What she got instead was proof that underestimating an enemy rarely turns out the way an empire expects it to.